Hello everyone, welcome to Sunya IAS. So what is the agenda of today's meeting? Our agenda is to discuss the PYQs of the subject art and culture. See guys, what is the importance of PYQ? We know, we repeat it multiple times. Like we all know that UPSC has given certain syllabus for different subjects, है ना? This we have. But when you read the syllabus, you will get the broad idea of the topic, but you won't be getting, like, all the topics are listed in the syllabus, but you won't be getting that which theme is more important as compared to others. So that thematic understanding, thematic importance, plus the depth and the type of question that can be asked from that theme, that all you will get to know by doing the previous year question. For example, if we talk about art and culture, तो यहाँ पे the Buddhism topic is ultra important. But why I am able to say this with so much confidence that Buddhism is important? Because I have seen the previous year questions, right? So now, before doing the art and culture PYQs, what should be your strategy? See, all of you must be having this book, Sunya Ki Art and Culture, the prelim static book. So, what you are supposed to do, you guys have to read this book at least 2 to 3 times. Then, we'll be solving previous year questions. And you have to check whether you are able to attempt the previous year questions from this book or not. Okay? Now, supposingly you are able to attempt 90% of the question out of the 100. Now what about the 10% questions? Those 10% questions you have to add in this book only. Alag se don't start searching for or hunting for a new book. Add it in the same book. Okay. Now what will be our strategy to discuss PYQ? Will not be doing it year wise or question wise. We'll be doing it thematic. So our first theme is architecture. So all of you should have revised architecture from this book first, and then we are going to do the previous year questions, right? So consider the following pairs. See, whenever you are reading the question, you have to be very calm. You have to understand the question, that what basically every time it is not that the UPSC is asking you about the fact. They are checking your aptitude also. So that also we are going to learn today how it is there. Consider the following pairs: Ashoka's major rock edict and their location. So the question is on the major rock edict and the place where they are situated. So now this question is there. Okay, we are going to discuss this question also. But what do you mean by PYQ analysis? That we are going to see all the major rock edicts, and not only the ones which are mentioned in these questions. We are going to see all the major rock edicts and their location, so that in case the question is repeated in future, you won't get stuck up. Okay, so see, keep a map handy in your handy with you, so that you can locate it on the map. Because abhi to the question that has been asked is place the rock edict and the location. There can be a question to arrange it from north to south, or south to north, or east to west, or west to east. You will be able to handle such questions also only with the help of mapping skill. Fine. So Girnar market, it is in Gujarat. Here it is. Dhauli, Odisha. Here it is. Jogada. So remember, there are two sites in Odisha. One is Dhauli, another is Jogada. Fine. Kalsi, this is in Uttarakhand. Here it is. Kalsi. ठीक है. Mansehra is in Pakistan. Shahbaz Gadi, again Pakistan. Sopara in Maharashtra. Yeragudi in Andhra Pradesh. Here it is. Clear? So this way you have to locate it on the map. Now solve that question. Dholi, Odisha, we have seen that. Another site in Odisha is Jogala, but here they have mentioned Madhya Pradesh, so this is wrong. Yeragudi, Andhra Pradesh, Yeragudi or Yeragudi, the spelling can be any. Kalsi, Karnataka, no, we have seen that this is in Uttarakhand. So this is incorrect. How many of them are correctly marked? See, this is also very important. Whenever you are reading the question, you have to encircle whether the correct one is asked or the incorrect one. So correctly asked only 2 pairs. Clear? This should be your strategy for attempting the PYQ for every subject, right? Now, Prime Minister recently inaugurated new circuit house near the Somnath Temple, Veraval. See, whenever there is recently means the question was from current affairs. So for art and culture, current affairs became very important. Now they are not asking anything from the current affairs. They are asking from the static part. If, only the location, the site they are taking from the current affairs. Somnath Temple is one of the Jyotirling shrine. I always say that Jyotirling and the Sun Temple, they both are very important if we see the art and culture topic, and it should be on your tips. So Somnath is a Jyotirling or not, you should know that. So it is. Its description was given by Al-Biruni. Factual question. Pran Pratishtha of Somnath Temple was done by President S. Radhakrishnan. This is incorrect. It was done by Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Clear? So which of them are correct? Even if you know ki third is incorrect, so hum third ko we can eliminate and you will get 1 and 2 as the correct option. But abhi we will not work on elimination. We will try to get the full information, full knowledge. So let's again take out your map. Mark all the 12 Jyotirling on your map. So what is the story of Jyotirling? Actually, how the concept of Jyotirling came, there was a fight between Lord Vishnu and Lord Brahma. That who is the, you can say, who has higher authority in terms of gods. So Lord Shiva came to decide that who is the superior god. Now Shiva appeared in the form of a very big Jyoti, flame, and asked both of them to find out the end of this flame. So Brahma ji lied ki yes, I have got the end of the flame. But Vishnu ji said, I didn't get. So ultimately Vishnu ji became the winner, and Brahma ji was cursed that you won't be having any temple on the earth except there is one Brahma ji ka temple. So Lord Shiva, when he came to earth to resolve the dispute, he came in the form of flame at 12 places. These 12 places became the Jyotirling. Clear? Okay. So one is Kedarnath. Again it can be asked north to south, east to west, right? Yeah, name and the location. Vishveshwar, Mahakaleshwar, Nageshwar, Somnath, Omkareshwar, Triambakeshwar. You can also add the extra information. For example, you can add the rivers, that which river is located along which Jyotirling. Vaidyanath, Greeneshwar, Bhimshankar, Mallikarjun and Rameshwar. These all should be on your tips. Clear? Now, next question. With reference to Chaussat Yogini temple situated near Morena. See, the question is coming on Chaussat Yogini temple. But let me tell you that you should know all the temple architecture. It is very, very important to know that. Because there are a lot of questions that can come from temple architecture. One style developed in North India, that was called Nagar style. Another style developed in South India that was called Dravidian style. So North India wala is Nagar, South India wala is Dravidian. Now there was one that was the mixture of both the styles, and that was Vesara style. That is the mix of Nagar plus Dravidian style. Here the main contribution is of Chalukyas. Chalukyas were the one who helped in the creation of Vesara style. Now what are the features of Nagar? What are the features of Dravidian? That you should know. What are the sub-schools of Nagar? What are the sub-schools of Dravidian? How are the stages in which they developed? Now Chauset Yogini temple near Morena, they are asking. It is a circular temple built during the reign of Kachapa Ghata dynasty. So this is absolutely correct. Factual information, these are circular temples. It is the only circular temple built in India. वैसे भी whenever there is a term called only, you should get more alert. So it is not the only, it is present in multiple places. ठीक है? Now it was meant to promote Vaishnav cult. If you read the terminology itself, Chauset Yogini temple, it is for the feminine Yogini worship, right? Not Vaishnav cult. Its design has given rise to a popular belief that it was inspiration behind the Indian Parliament building. Yes, our earlier wala parliament was circular, and that was inspired by Chauset Yogini temple. So which of them are correct? 1 and 4. C is the correct option. Clear? Okay. Now let's talk about the historical place and why they are known for. See, whenever we talk about the Harappa, whenever we talk about the Maurya and or any other, you can say temple site, यहाँ पे हड़प्पा में 2 things are ultra important. First is the sites, their location, and what are the findings over there. If we talk about Maurya, यहाँ पे again you should know the site and the location. If we talk about temple, you should know the name, the location, the religion to which it belongs to, and if there is any special feature. Clear? So let's talk about this. Burza Home, I think all of you have heard of Burza Home. So Burza Home, did we get any shrine over there? No. It is a Neolithic site. ठीक है? Chandra Ketu Gad. Yes, we have got terracotta art. What is terracotta? When the art is made up of clay. Gyaneshwar, copper artifacts. So which of them are again correctly matched? 2 and 3. D is the correct option. Next is building Kalyan Mandapa was a notable feature in the temple construction in Kingdom. Again, focus on the theme. The temple architecture is getting repeated. So temple construction, if you would have read of, like Chalukyas ka, the main contribution was Vesara style. Chandelas maybe, it is a sub-school of Nagar style. Rashtrakutas, they again helped in the construction of structural temples. Vijayanagar is the one where you will have special halls. Mandapas, when we see the temple architecture, तो वहाँ पे the term mandapas is used for the hall where the devotees can sit. So there is a proper hall which is considered auspicious for marriages, and that hall is known as Kalyan Mandapa. ठीक है, so Vijayanagar is the correct option. Let's talk about each of the style. Okay, that we have discussed. Next question. In which of the following relief sculpture is Ranyu Ashoka mentioned along with the stone portrait of Ashoka? See, if you know that the name Ashoka is not used anywhere except at the 4 places. You have to tell me which 4 places the name Ashoka has been mentioned. At all other places we have found that Ashoka has been referred as Devanam Piya Dasi. Okay, it means lover of God. Now, if we talk about Ranyu Ashoka, so this inscription has been found in Kangnahali. You can see the image over here also. See, Sanchi is famous for stoop. Shahbazgadi, we have just seen major rock edict. And Sohaguda is famous for the copper plate inscription, which was inscribed during the time of Mauryan famine. Clear? Okay. Next, with reference to the cultural history of India, consider the following statements. White marble was used in making Buland Darwaza and Khanka at Fatehpur Sikri. Red sandstone and marble were used in making Bada Imambada and Rumi Darwaza at Lucknow. See, such sort of questions, ठीक है, we will see which material was used at which time, which construction. But these questions you can attempt by your aptitude also. If you have seen this, whenever we see, whenever any monument is there in the current affairs or the static part even you are reading, na, especially during the art and culture, always try to Google it. Okay? Because when you will Google it, na, you will see the images. For example, this is Buland Darwaza. If you have not read about it, सिर्फ देखा होगा, only you have seen, then only you will get to know यहाँ पे there is no use of marble. So first statement you can eliminate like that, cut it like that. Now let's talk about Bada Imambada and Rumi Darwaza. This is Bada Imambada, this is Rumi Darwaza. Again we cannot find any red sandstone or marble over here. They are made up of brick and lime. So again this is incorrect. यहाँ पे you don't need कि नहीं, I have not read it somewhere, I don't remember these facts. No, just use your common sense, try to picturize the things and try to recall. That's why I was saying that you have to be very calm while you are reading the question. Every time it is not the fact that the UPSC is asking. Correct one is neither 1 nor 2. Clear? Okay. Next. Which of the following are famous for sun temples? See, यहाँ पे again I told you ना, sun temple and Jyotirling. That should be on your tips. It's up to you which one you want to remember. I to suggest that remember 12 Jyotirling. Fine. Ab, see the beauty of this question. They are given you 3 options. Arsavali, Amarkantak, Omkareshwar, and asked which of them are sun temple. Now supposingly in the in text I have read only Jyotirling, I have not read sun temple. Now with the help of the Jyotirling, how you will be able to solve this question? See, Omkareshwar we have seen that this is a Jyotirling, right or not? This so we have read in the previous slide, we have seen on the map. Now this is a Jyotirling, means this is not a sun temple. Cut 3. You will reach the correct option. Clear? So again you have to use your aptitude. Clear? Now see, the sun temples means if the time permits you, if you want ki haan we should not leave anything, don't leave sun temple, but haan memorize Jyotirling very properly. Modhera sun temple, Gujarat. Konark sun temple, Arsavali, Andhra Pradesh. Martand sun temple, Kashmir. Mark them on the map also. Okay, this is your homework. Mark them on the map. Katarmal, Uttarakhand. Dakshinarka, Bihar. Brahmanya, MP. Surya Prahar, Assam. Suryanar Kovil Temple in Tamil Nadu. So Surya Prahar or Suryanar Kovil Temple may don't get confused. Clear? Okay. Another. यहाँ पे again we will use the aptitude. What is or are common to the two historical places known as Ajanta and Mahabalipuram? Both were built in the same period. Both belong to the same religious denomination. Both have rock cut monuments. Okay, now whenever we study architecture या any topic, I always advise that you should study in a chronological way. Why I advise you to study the chronological way? Actually, I too don't remember the dates. So what I do, I try to figure out some timeline. Like suppose if I am talking about, you can say the chronological order of the architecture. First I'll read about ancient architecture, then medieval, and then modern. ठीक है ना? Okay. Ancient maybe I'll talk about prehistoric times, है ना? Then I'll talk about Harappa, then Maurya, then post Maurya, then I'll talk about Gupta, then South India, है ना? Miscellaneous. So this will cover my ancient India. Now, if you remember, do you know where you have read Ajanta wala point? If I am not wrong, we have read Ajanta ke caves during the Gupta time. Ajanta, Ellora and all, they developed during the Gupta times. And when we were reading Mahabalipuram we have read in South India. So do you think in any how that they can belong to the same time period? No. है ना? So this is incorrect. Now moving on to the second statement. See, second even you don't need to know, because if you eliminate the first, we are left with 3 and none. Second, now we will not do elimination, we will do the complete analysis. Both belong to the same religious denomination. So now when we study about Ajanta, so it was more focused on Buddhism. Remember Padmapani, Vajrapani, all are related to Buddhism. And Mahabalipuram, here you will find Rath temple. And Rath temple was like Arjun Rath, Dharamraj Rath, है ना? So that means they are related to Mahabharat characters. And Mahabharat is a Hindu epic. So that means they do not belong to the same religion also. Clear? But we have seen that Ajanta was also created by cutting the rock. Ratha temple were also created by cutting the rock. So both are rock cut monuments. Clear? So 3 only is the correct option. This is the way you have to think in the paper. सोचना कैसे is more important. रट्टा नहीं मारना. Fine. Now, again, consider the following pairs, the place and the region. बोध गया, बागेलखंड, खजुराहो, बुंदेलखंड, शेडी, विदर्भा, नासिक, मालवा, तिरुपति, रायलसीमा. Again, this is a map based question. And we will do it on the map only. I don't know where is Bodh Gaya, I don't know where is Baghelkhand. Let's see on the map. This is Baghelkhand and this is Bodh Gaya. And this is the Baghelkhand ka region. Do you think Bodh Gaya lies in Baghelkhand? No. Next, what is the option? Let me just see the question paper. Khajuraho. Okay. Khajuraho and Bundelkhand. So, this is Khajuraho and this wala region is Bundelkhand. Don't you think this is overlapping like that? So, yes, they are lying in the same area. Next is Shedi and Vidarbh. So Shedi is lying somewhere here and Vidarbh is this region. So again this is incorrect. Next is Nasik and Malwa. Again check. Where is Nasik? It is lying somewhere here. Malwa is somewhere here. Again this is incorrect. If you have proper understanding of the map now, most of the questions you are able to handle. Next is Tirupati. It is lying somewhere here in the same region which is marked over here. So this is correct. Rayalaseema region. So which one we have got correct? Bundelkhand, Khajuraho, Rayalaseema, Tirupati. So 2 and 5 are the correct option. You also mark these places on your own in the map so that you can remember it for a longer period of time. Let me see another question. Which one of the following statements is correct? See, the question is very simple. I hope all of you must be knowing. Ajanta caves lie in the gorge of Waghora river. We all know this. Sanchi Stoop lies in the gorge of Chambal river. We have not read anywhere like this. Pandulina caves lie in the gorge of the Narmada river. Again wrong. Amravati lies in the gorge of Godavari river. It is not there. We have read that it is Krishna river. But see, we will not stop here. We will read about each of the cave because they are important. Now, whatever is given in your StarTech book, we will read about that cave from that book. Firstly, Ajanta cave are rock cut caves. Where they are located? Maharashtra. How many caves are there? 29 caves are there. Where there is 25 viharas and 4 chaityas. Okay, 29 caves, 4 chaityas, 25 viharas. They are cut into U-shaped cliff overlooking river Waghora. Who discovered it? Captain John Smith. Here you will find fresco painting. What is fresco painting? Painting on the wall where the surface is first prepared and then the drawing is done. Unique feature, outlined in red, no blue color. Theme, Ajanta, Buddha. Initially Heenyan came, so Heenyan features are there. Later Mahayan came, so Mahayan features are there. Now this is the factual part and this is important also. You should know Mahaparinirvana of Buddha, shown in 26 number. Naga king and his consort, 19. 10, it is the oldest cave. 26 is the latest cave. It is in World Heritage Site of UNESCO. And when Mahaparinirvana is shown, Mahaparinirvana means death of Buddha. So their sorrowful creatures are also shown. Next is Sanchi Stoop, also known as Mahastoop. See, initially it was built by Ashoka. Then Shunga dynasty came and Pushyamitra Shunga destroyed it. Then Pushyamitra Shungas had a son called Agnimitra Shunga. He made it to double the height. Fine. Okay. Now यहाँ पे it was done during the post-modern age. At that time more torans were added. Torans are the gateways in the stoop. It lies in an upland plateau region on a flat-topped sandstone hill just west of Betwa river. And again it is in the World Heritage Site list. Next is Pandulena caves, also known as Trirashmi caves. Trirashmi hill pe hai. Again it is a Buddhist cave and on the banks of river Godavari. Nashik city is located. And Captain James was the first one to document this cave. Next is Amravati Stoop. Again very very famous, made up of white marble. You can see in the picture also. And यहाँ पे you won't find very grand image of Buddha. Basically यहाँ पे there is Anda and outer that Pradakshina Path is there. And outer around this Pradakshina Path you will find a Vedika. And on these things, a proper narrative art is there showing the life of Buddha. Clear? It lies in the gorge of Krishna river. Next question. With reference to the art and architecture, which among the following was made earliest? See, again you have to use the same trick. Okay. Remember the order in which you have studied these things. Lingaraj temple, obviously we have studied that in Gupta times temple architecture. Rock cut elephant at Dhauli. Dhauli we have read in Maurya's time. Rock cut monument at Mahabalipuram. So this we have read in South India wala time. And Varaha image at Udaygiri, again at the time of Guptas. So which one is the earliest? This one. You don't have to even remember the year. Thoda sa guesswork will work. Fine. So this is the earliest. Now we will read about all these 4 sites, places. Lingaraj temple, Somvanshi king, Yayativad, dedicated to Lord Shiva. It is the largest temple of Odisha, Bhubaneswar city ka. Built in red sandstone. Kaling style is associated with this. Now, as the name suggests, Lingaraj, we always refer Shivling to Lord Shiva. है ना? And he is also known as, यहाँ पे the Lingaraj is also known as Swayambhu. Swayam means self. Bhu matlab avtarit hona, to come. Swayambhu means the self-originated Shivling. That is why there is so much auspiciousness of this site. Clear? Bindu Sagar Lake is located. Geography, location, information. Clear? Okay. Dhauli elephant, you can see how beautifully the carving was done at that time. In Odisha, only the front half of the elephant is looking. It seems as if an elephant is moving out of the cave. See, it is carved over the edicts of Ashoka. If you remember, Kalinga rock edict, which is there in Odisha. Wahin pe this elephant is also there. Then this is Mahabalipuram. Yahan pe you will get rock cut rathas. You should also know which all the sculptures you get over here. Arjuna's penance, Govardhan Dhari, Mahisha. See, who is referred to as Govardhan Dhari? Whom do we call as Govardhan? Govardhan is a mountain, है ना? Who held it? Lord Krishna. Mahishasur Mardini means the lady who has killed Mahishasur. Who has killed? Goddess Durga. The Jal Shayan Perumal temple. Jal Shayan means the one who is sleeping in the water. Who is there? Lord Vishnu. So what do these sculptures tell you? That they all belong to Hinduism. So Mahabalipuram is related to Hinduism. Now see, Sapta Pagoda. Sapta means 7. It was done at the time of Pallava king Narasimha Varman I. And what are the 7? Rath, Dharamraj, Draupadi Rath, Arjun, Bhim, Nakul, Sahdev, Ganesh, Pindari, Valayan, Kutai. Arjun Rath has the image of Shiva, Draupadi, goddess Durga. ठीक है. Next is Descent of the Ganges. See, when you will see the sculpture na, Descent of the Ganges, वहाँ पे there's a person who is doing some sort of penance, tapasya, by keeping his hands up. Now there are 2 perceptions to that sculpture. Some people say that he is Bhagirath. Bhagirath is doing penance to bring Ganga on earth. कुछ लोग ऐसा बोलते हैं. Another people say that he is Arjuna. Arjun, who is doing penance to get Pashupati weapon from Shiva. So whatever is there, you can call it by any name. Arjuna's penance or Descent of the Ganges. It is there in Mahabalipuram. Next is Shore temple along the shore. Again you will find that there are 2 shrines, Shiva and Vishnu, related to Hinduism. Then we have Mount Abu. यहाँ पे you will have Dilwara Jain Temple, Nakki Lake. Next is Udaygiri. Udaygiri, see, there is one cave called Udaygiri Khandgiri. Udaygiri Khandgiri. Udaygiri Khandgiri is located in Odisha. It is a rock cut cave and it is related to Jainism. Given patronage by King Kharvel. ठीक है. Now it is, but here we are talking about Udaygiri cave which is there in MP, related to Hinduism. Clear? यहाँ पे the ultra important sculpture that you will find is the Varaha sculpture rescuing the earth, represented by Bhudevi clinging to the boar's tusk. So this sculpture you will find in Udaygiri. And this cave got the patronage of Gupta rulers. यहाँ पे it was King Kharvel. Clear? Okay. चलो next question. With reference to the Indian history of art and culture, consider the following pairs. A grand image of Buddha's Mahaparinirvan Nirvan with numerous celestial musicians above and the sorrowful figures of his followers below. कि ऊपर though there are musicians because they think that yes, Buddha is coming back to us, and the followers are very sorrowful because Buddha is going away from them. So is it there in Ajanta? Yes, we have seen. So now you can see how the PYQs get repeated. A huge image of Varaha avatar of Lord Vishnu as he rescues goddess Earth from the deep and chaotic waters, sculptured on rock. So this we have seen. It is not in Mount Abu, it is in Udaygiri. Fine. Next is Mount Abu mein we have seen what all is there. Where it is given. Mount Abu is in Rajasthan. Mahabalipuram is in South India. Clear? Mount Abu is in Rajasthan. There Nakki Lake is present. Dilwara Jain Temple is present. Fine. वहाँ पे Varaha avatar is not there. Varaha avatar is there in Udaygiri, which is in MP. Arjuna's penance or the descent of the Ganges, see they have used both. Key student should not get confused. Is sculpted on the surface of huge boulders Mamallapuram, Mahabalipuram. Correct? So 1 and 3 are correct. Next, with reference to Buddhist history, tradition and culture in India, consider the following. Tabo Monastery and Temple Complex is in Spiti Valley. Yes, it is there in Spiti Valley, Himachal Pradesh. Lodsawa Lakhang Nako is Zanskar Valley. No, it is again in Himachal Pradesh. Alchi Temple Complex is in Ladakh. Correct. So C 1 and 3 are correct. Again, you should know the places in news and the location where they are present. Next, with reference to the cultural history of India, the term Panchayatan refers to. So if you have read even the basics of temple architecture, you must be knowing this question. Panchayatan is a temple architecture ka style. See, what is Panchayatan? In this, 5 deities are there in one temple. So 1 is the main deity. And these 4, this 1, 2, 3 and 4, they are the subsidiary deities. या family members of the main deity. For example, if we talk about Shivling, Shiv Parivar जो होता है, in that the main deity is Lord Shiva, then Parvati ji, Kartikeya ji and Nandi and all, they all are the family. So that is an example of Panchayatan style. Now, because a question of such type has been asked, we'll see all the basic features of the Nagar and the Dravidian style. First, let's look on to the Nagar style. So, see, the base on which the temple is constructed, the foundation, that is known as Adhishthan. And the raised platform on which the temple is constructed, that is known as Jagati. So don't get confused between Adhishthan and Jagati. Then there is a circumambulation path, Pradakshina path. Here it is. Then there is a section in the temple jahan pe the main deity is kept. That is known as Garbhagriha. That is very auspicious, very pure. Not everybody is allowed to enter that place. That is called Garbhagriha. And there is a hall in front of Garbhagriha where the devotees can come and sit. For example, if you visit ISKCON temple, तो वहाँ पे मेन राधा कृष्णा जी इज इनसाइड एंड आउटसाइड देयर इज अ हॉल जहाँ पे द भक्त द डिवोटीज कैन सिट एंड चैंट हरे कृष्णा हरे रामा. तो दैट एरिया इज नोन एज मंडपा. ठीक है. और व्हाई आई एम टेलिंग यू दीज टर्म्स बिकॉज द टर्म्स इन नॉर्थ इंडियन एंड साउथ इंडियन स्टाइल आर डिफरेंट, so you should understand it properly. Now we have seen Garbhagriha, we have seen the hall. There is a smaller area जहाँ से थोड़ा झुक के we used to enter from Mandapa to Garbhagriha. For example, the Pandit ji is going. So that connecting area is known as Antaral, the vestibule. Then the raised tower is known as Shikhar. There can be smaller towers also. That chain is known as Urushringa, subsidiary Shikhar and all. Then there is a disc-like thing called Amlak, and at the top we have Kalash. Actually, Kalash signifies that this is a temple architecture. Then there can be multiple halls, main hall, side hall, like Mahamandapa, Mandapa, Ardhamandapa. Ardhamandapa ka the best example is the place where Nandi ji is kept. When you enter a Shiv temple, Lord Shiva's temple, at the outer area, वहाँ पे Nandi ji is there. That is called Ardhamandap. And mostly the temples are east facing. Now talking about the Dravidian style. यहाँ पे there is no boundary wall. Water premises is also not important to be present. Now talking about the Dravidian style, here you will have a Gopuram. यहाँ पे the complete temple is known as Mandapa, not the hall. In North India, only the hall part is known as Mandapa. Then यहाँ पे in North India, the complete tower is known as Shikhar. But here only this top portion is known as Shikhar, and this area, stepped area, is known as Viman. Where here the Shikhar is curved, but here it is, you can say in the form of a platform, steps. And this main, where the main deity is there, this is Garbhagriha. In Dravidian style, the presence of boundary wall is important. Presence of water is also important. ठीक है? Okay, so this completes our topic, our PYQs on architecture. Now what you are supposed to do? Just try to absorb the questions, whatever we have done on architecture. Then after 1 minute, we'll be starting with paintings wala topic. Okay? So let's start with the next topic, that is paintings. Paintings mein, again, which sort of questions will come? The name of the painting, to the region to which it belongs to. For example, there's a question in 2018, well-known painting Bani Thani belongs to which school? ठीक है? तो before doing this, let's have a quick recap of the paintings, how they evolved. See, initially there were what is known as prehistoric painting. Initially there was prehistoric paintings. In prehistoric paintings, what was there? That the paintings was done on bare rock or wall of caves. And at that time, the painting is known as mural or fresco painting. These paintings prevailed in the ancient times. When the people did not have the technology so much, they used to paint whatever the natural colors they used to get, उसी से they used to paint on the walls. ठीक है? Then, during the medieval times, when the Persian people came, at that time the size of the painting got smaller, and we have got a surface, we have developed a surface where we can paint. For example, the palm leaf, the paper or any other object, that is known as miniature painting. So when it developed, the first school that developed was Pala school. Here the painting was done on palm leaf or vellum paper, and the theme was Vajrayana school of Buddhism. And the most famous book that belongs to this school is Asht Sahasrika Prajna Paramita. Okay, where the wisdom is written in 8,000 lines. Another school is Apabhransh school. Apabhransh means the mixture, the amalgamation of things. So यहाँ पे you will find the amalgamation, the mixture of Gujarat and the Mewar region of Rajasthan. Theme Jainism, and the famous book is Kalpasutra or Kalakacharya Katha. Then came the proper Delhi Sultanate. यहाँ पे भी the miniature paintings developed. And the example is Nimat Nama, which started at the time of Ghyasuddin Khilji, completed at the time of Nasir Shah. Next example is Tabakat-e-Nasiri of Minhajuddin Siraj. After that, after Delhi Sultanate came the Mughal era. यहाँ पे initially Babur came. He did not have much time. He just had 4 years for his reign, because he was the founder. He had to establish the base. That is why he could not do much thing except a family tree, and also patronized an artist called Behzad. Then came Humayun. Again he had to struggle for his reign, for his throne. He was able to brought 2 painters with him, Khwaja Abdul Samad and Mir Sayyid Ali. Now he has brought these 2 people who became the Akbar's teacher. And because Akbar has got the teacher of painting right from the beginning, so he has developed the interest in that. And that is why we have Akbar ke liye, Akbar had established what is known as Tasveer Khana. If we talk about Akbar, he established Tasveer Khana and Karkhanas, where the painters can develop their own style, and there are several famous painters. Then came Jahangir. He was the patron of painting. And the painting was mostly focused on the natural elements. Naturalism was there, decorated margins were there, for example zebra, turkey, cock, Ayari Danish. ठीक है. Then is Shahjahan. Shahjahan के time पे we have seen that the Europeans have started coming, and that is why you will find the influence of Europeans on the art of Shahjahan during the Shahjahan period. Use of golden color, artificial elements, reduced use of charcoal, and the famous painters are listed here. Last came the Aurangzeb. When Aurangzeb came, he was the one who considered paintings to be un-Islamic. And because he considered paintings to be un-Islamic, he destroyed the paintings. He stopped the patronage. And patronage gone, the painters had to do something for their living. So what they did, they moved to their regional towns or the native towns. And that led to the development of regional painting. So here we have regional school of painting. So basically we have 3 regional paintings, basically 2, Rajasthani, Pahadi, and the third one which developed in South India. Rajasthani maybe you have several schools, Rajput, Mewar, Kishangarh, Bundi, Malwa. Mostly the local themes are very much famous, along with the influence of Mughals. Mewar, Kishangarh ki ही there is a famous painting called Bani Thani, painted by Nihal Chand, and यहाँ पे the painting Bani Thani, the lady which is painted with, that is compared to Radha. ठीक है. Malwa school, Pahadi school. Here we have Kangra, Basholi school. Then in South India, mostly you will find that यहाँ पे the court scenes are not highlighted much. यहाँ पे the divinity is presented in a proper manner. Plus, there is heavy use of gold color. ठीक है. So Tanjore school, Mysore school, you will find that the painting was done on glass and board instead of cloth and vellum, which was there in North India. And use of gemstones, cut glasses, smiling Krishna is the example. So Bunny Thani belongs to which school? Kishangarh school. So you can see the painting of Bunny Thani, how beautifully it has been shown. Next question. The painting of Bodhisattva Padmapani is one of the famous and oft illustrated painting that. Okay, so we know that Ajanta is related to Buddhism, Badami with Brahmanism, Bagh cave is also Buddhism, Ellora is Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, all. And Bodhisattva Padmapani is a very famous sculpture related to Buddhism. So this option gone, this option gone. यहाँ पे नहीं है. And if you remember properly, so we have Padmapani, Vajrapani, these all sculptures are present in, paintings are present in Ajanta. Clear? Bagh ka the famous example is Palace of Colors, Rang Mahal. Next, Kalamkari painting referred to. See, यहाँ पे the question is folk painting and to which region it belongs to, that you should know. ठीक है? So it belongs to southern India. Let's see the options. A hand painted cotton textile in South India, handmade drawing on bamboo handicraft in Northeast India, block painted woolen cloth in the western Himalayan region, hand painted decorative silk cloth in Northwest India. So it is in South India, done on cotton textile. So with this question we will learn the complete art, whatever folk painting are there and to which region it belongs to. Madhubani, Bihar, Pattachitra, Odisha. You can also add the features wala thing in that. Ki what are the special feature of these particular painting. Patua art, Bengal. Kali Ghat, West Bengal. Paitkar, Jharkhand. Kalamkari, Andhra Pradesh. Warli, Maharashtra. Thangka, Sikkim, Northeast, you can remember. Manjusha, Bihar. So Madhubani and Manjusha both belongs to Bihar. Sohrai, Jharkhand. Cheriyal, Telangana. Pithora, Gujarat and MP. Clear? Okay. Next. So with this we are done with painting. So by doing the questions you can have an idea कि architecture से the probability of coming questions is more. Painting से the probability, मतलब the questions that have come till now is very less. So we will do the selective study in that. Because depending upon the marks you have to give the weightage. Na? That is the main importance of PYQ. Next we will be dealing with Indian music, dance and architecture. Architecture तो we have already completed. Let's look into the dance and music. ठीक है? So which was the latest inclusion in UNESCO's intangible cultural heritage list? It was asked in 2024. So you can say that this is a current affairs based question. See, firstly you should know what all is there in the ICH and whatever is there in the recent or whatever was there at first, that you should remember. So it can be asked that way. Name, location, any order, north to south or south to north, east to west, west to east, right? The year in which they are added, chronology basically, right? So Buddhist chanting 2012, Raman 2009, Ram Leela 2008 belonging to UP wala area, Kumbh Mela 17, Kumbh Mela you should know whether it is there in ICH or not because this year it is important. ठीक है, Kal Belia 2010, Garba 2023, Kutiyattam 2008, Mudietu 2010, Sankirtan 13, Durga Puja 21, Chau dance 10, and the ICH that is there but that is not specific to a region is tradition of Vedic chanting 2008, Yoga 14, Navroz 14. So which one is the latest one? Obviously the Garba, which has been added in 2023. So Garba dance added in 2023. Question from current affairs. This year Kumbh Mela important, so ICH is also important. Next, with reference to the cultural history of India, consider the following statements. Most of the Tyagaraja Kritis are devotional songs in praise of Lord Krishna. If you have read about Tyagaraja, so he is the one who was not devotee of Lord Krishna, he was the devotee of Lord Rama. So that is, first statement is incorrect. Next is Tyagaraja created several new ragas. See, it's a very generic statement. 90% this type of statements are usually correct. Next, Annamacharya and Tyagaraja are contemporaries. How can they be contemporaries? Tyagaraja was in some 1700s and Annamacharya was in 15th century wala time period. So they were not contemporaries. Next is Annamacharya Kirtans are devotional songs in praise of Lord Venkateshwar. So yes, he is the one who was the devotee of Lord Vishnu, Venkateshwar. So he created the devotional songs. What it is asked? Correct question. Correct statements. First is incorrect. Second is correct. Third is incorrect. So B is the correct option. 2 and 4. Clear? Next, consider the following pairs. Chapchurkut, Mizoram, Khongjom Parv, Manipur, Thangta dance, Sikkim. So basically they want to ask that which of them are correctly matched. Chapchurkut we have already seen, it has been earlier PYQ also. Mizoram, Khongjom Parv, Manipur. Thangta is a martial art. Basically martial art sort of dance from Manipur, very famous, where certain weapons and all are used, right? Iska unarmed wala form is Sarit Sadak. The art is same, only the arms are not used, right? So 1 and 2 are the correct options. And one more thing, with this what you have inferred, that whenever you are doing fairs and festivals, that you can do from that book also, or you can see the HYD topic that will be covered on Sunya's YouTube channel, ठीक है, before the exam. So यहाँ पे fair and festival and their location should be on your tips along with certain special feature if there is any. Clear? Now, with reference to Manipuri Sankirtan, consider the following statements. It is a song and dance performance, right? Sankirtan, यहाँ पे song is also sung and dance is also performed. Cymbals are the only musical instrument used in the performance. See, can you imagine that there is any dance form जहाँ पे only one instrument is used? Until and unless it is not very famous, yeah, very special feature, it is not a generally correct statement. So यहाँ पे this is incorrect. Other instruments like flute, veena, they are also used. It is performed to narrate the life and deeds of Lord Krishna and Radha. इन्हीं से they are related. So second statement is incorrect. 1 and 3, B is correct. One more important feature of Sankirtan is Nagbandh Mudra. So mudras, which mudra is associated with which dance, that is also important. Here the dancer takes the figure of 8, curves its body in the form of 8. Another, consider the following pairs. Again, the dance and the region. Garba, Gujarat, we know. Mohini Attam, it is a solo performance done in Kerala and not in Odisha. Yakshgan, very very famous theatre from Karnataka. So 1 and 3 are the correct option. What does it tell you? That you should know all the dance forms and the location. It's a bit factual, but we have to do. We cannot lose even 2 marks for that. Next, with reference to, you guys can also read the question paper if you have taken out the printout. Take a question paper from that hard copy PDF. Otherwise, you can read it from the board. It would be better if you have the hard copy in your hand. Right? Like I also read from the question paper. With reference to the famous Satraiya dance, consider the following statements. See guys, one more thing, whenever you are reading the question, your mind should be in the active state. You should learn to take out the keywords from the question. Like, the question is on Satraiya dance. It will become a keyword based question for you. Satraiya is a combination of music, dance and drama. Obviously, every dance may you will have music, dance and drama. It is a centuries old living tradition of Vaishnavites of Assam. Yes, we know that the Satraiya dance originated from Satras. Satras were the monasteries or the mutts where the Vaishnav saints used to live and worship God. So वहाँ पे whatever they used to worship, chant, and they used to dance also. It is based on the classical ragas and talas of devotional songs of Tulsidas, Kabir and Mirabai. No. The concept of Satras was developed by Shankaradev, Vaishnavite monk, also known as Bokots, technical term again. So third is incorrect, 1 and 2 are correct, 1 and 2 only. So again, very important, you should know all the classical dances. Folk dance, see, whenever you are doing the folk dance, so folk dance mein only the location part is important. But when you are doing the classical dance, so uske features also become important. Now, a community of people called Manganiyars is well known for their martial arts in Northeast India, music tradition in Northwest, classical vocal music in South India, Pitra Dura tradition in Central India. See, Pitra Dura is obviously, we know it is associated with medieval architecture. So, Manganiyars is basically a music community from Northwest India. It's a community. Let's see all the music communities of India also given in your static notes. Langha, Gujarat, Rajasthan. Manganiyar, Rajasthan. And Northwest. They have not asked you that directly. But even if you don't know the exact state, तो भी if you have the idea of the region, कि east है, north है, west है, south है, क्या है, you'll be able to guess the things. Right? They are the Muslim music community. Bauls, West Bengal. The community is known as Baul and the song that they sing is Baul Sangeet. Bhopa, Rajasthan. Jogi, Rajasthan. Muria, MP, तो सेंट्रल इंडिया हो गया. मोकिन, अंडमान निकोबार. ईदू मिश्मी, अरुणाचल प्रदेश. कामार, छत्तीसगढ़. तो इससे you will also get to know that firstly they are music community. To the region they belong to, तो match the following way, anyway it will work. Right? Okay. After doing the music and dance wala thing, let's move on to the very very important topic, and that is religion and philosophy. The way architecture was important na when we were doing that, the same way religion and philosophy is important. So once when you are doing religion and philosophy, pay a lot of attention to that. Don't miss anything in that. Try to cover all the facts whatever is given. Okay, we should not get any question wrong from this topic. Okay. And again, by reading this question, you will get to know that whatever is there in the current affairs, you should know that, but link that part. You should also know the static part of that context. ठीक है? The world's second tallest statue in sitting pose of Ramanuja. So basically the question is on Ramanuja. Was inaugurated by the Prime Minister of India at Hyderabad. Which statue they are talking about? Basically they are talking about the Statue of Equality, made up of gold. Which one of the following statements correctly represents the teachings of Ramanuja? The best means of salvation was devotion. Okay. Vedas are eternal, self-existent and wholly authoritative. Means you have to see the keyword. Whether he used to focus on devotion, Vedas, the logical arguments, or meditation. We know meditation is the key of yoga school. Logical arguments of the Nyaya school. Vedas, Vedant and Mimamsa school used to focus upon. So devotion is the one that was given by Ramanujacharya. Clear? So you should know which philosophy is propounded by whom and what was that philosophy. उस philosophy में what was the main message that was conveyed. Next, with reference to the cultural history of India, consider the following pairs: Parivrajak, Shraman, Upasak. Okay, so basically with this question they want to ask you the meaning of the terminologies which are associated with Buddhism. So again you will see Buddhism is very, very important. Parivrajak, we have already discussed that he is a wanderer who has left his house. He is wandering in search of some enlightenment basically. Shraman is also a seeker. He is not a priest. He is a seeker who wants to attain enlightenment. Upasak is the male person and female is Upasika. They are the lay follower of Buddhism. Means they are not monks or nuns, but they used to follow Buddhism. So second is incorrect. 1 and 3 are correct. Okay. So now let's see the terminologies. Parivrajak or Bhikshu, they are synonyms. Shraman, seeker. Upasak, lay follower. Arhat, see there are two terms which are there in Buddhism. One is Arhat, another is Bodhisattva. I'll add it here, you can also add it in your notes. Arhat is a term associated with Hinayan Buddhism. Hinayan Buddhism mein Arhat are the people who do not help anyone. They do the efforts to get their own salvation. But Bodhisattva are the people who delay their own salvation for others, to help others. That is the Bodhisattva. That is the concept in Mahayana. Nirvana, when you attain enlightenment, you are not affected by anything. Sheel, a lay person when he leaves home in search of renunciation. Upasampada, it is like vowing. It's a ritual of ascetic vetting. Like if a candidate, if he is fit enough, the vetting is done for the ascetic life. Vassa, actually the monks, the nuns, everybody, they take the vow that they will not stay at one place. So they used to wander from place to place. But when there is rainy season, they stay at one place to rest. So at that time, the 3-month annual retreat is there. That is called Vassa. And once Vassa is done, at the end of the day, whatever crime they have committed in that particular year, they have to confess it in front of everybody. That is Uposhtha. Next is Agraharika. He is the one who take care of the charitable lands. Paramita means perfection. Perfection means you are trying to become Bodhisattva. है ना. So in Bodhisattva, basically in Mahayana, we have 6 paramitas. Dan, you are giving. Sila paramita means you should not harm anyone. Shanti, calmness. Virya, courageous. Dhyan, meditation. Prajna paramita is the perfect discrimination of phenomena. You should be able to distinguish what is happening and what is not happening. Next is Magad. Magad is a term used for the people who used to memorize the bards, ballads, and then they used to recite. Basically, this term is not associated with Buddhism. It is more associated with Gupta period. So they used to recite the epic tales, whatever is there. Chalo, the next question based on what we have just read now, with reference to the cultural history of India, which one of the following is correct description of paramita? Perfections whose attainment led to the Bodhisattva path. Earliest Dharma Shastra text? No, they are not text. School? No, they are not text. School? They are the perfections whose attainment led to the Bodhisattva path. If you attain those 6 perfections, you will attain the Bodhisattva wala path. They are not the guilds. Next, with reference to the cultural history of India, memorizing of chronicles, dynastic histories, and epic tales was the profession of whom? We have seen Shraman is the seeker, Parivrajak who has left, so why will they take any profession? Agraharika, they look after the charitable lands, and Maghad are the one who used to recite the dynastic histories. They used to sing the ballet. Now, with reference to the religious history of India, consider the following statements. Sthavirvadin belonged to Mahayana Buddhism. Actually, there were 2 schools. One was the old school and one was the new school. What was the thinking of the old school? That Buddha is not God and he was an enlightened person. They used to worship Buddha in the form of symbols, and Buddha is not God. But here the thinking changed. They said Buddha is equal to God, and that is why idol or image worship started. So Theravada is the old school. From here came the Sthavirvadin. And Mahayana and Heenyan also came from here. Mahayana is the new school. So Mahayana and Sthavirvadin are not the same. Lokottarvadin sect was an offshoot of Mahasanghika sect of Buddhism. That is correct. Deification of Buddha by Mahasanghika fostered Mahayana Buddhism. Exactly. We have seen here deification of Buddha has been done. Idol worship was done. So 2 and 3 are the correct option. Now, see, you don't have to go into the much details, but at least you should name. You should know the names. Ki haan, these are all the subsets of particular group, because यहाँ तक UPSC has touched. इससे beyond the optional students used to take. So Mahasanghika got divided into 8 subsets. Mahasanghika is the new school. Ekavya Harika, Prajnaptivad, Uttara Saila, Bahusrutiya, Kaukutika, Chaityaka, Lokottarvadin, and Apara Saila. So they all are subsets of Mahasanghika. Sthavirvadin, Theravadin divided into 11 sects. Sarvastivad, Hemavad, Mahi Sasak, Dharmottara, Bhadrayaniya, Dharmagupta, Kasyapya, Samatya. Fine. Just read the names. If you read twice or thrice, so wo mind mein at least it will click. Yes, they are related to Buddhism, and Buddhism may be with school. Question number 6. Consider the following. Which of the features of Mahayana Buddhism? Okay. Deification of Buddha. Yes, we have seen idol worship started. Treading the path of Bodhisattva, yes, Bodhisattvas are there in Mahayana, because in Heenyan we have Arhat, who are very selfish, who don't help anyone. Image worship and ritual started in Mahayana. So all the three are there, which are correct. So same concept pe you have seen, multiple questions are there. Consider the following statements. Sant Nimbarka was the contemporary of Akbar. See, if you have any idea about Sant Nimbarka, he was in the period of thousands, 1090 around. And Akbar was there in 1542. So do you think that they can be contemporary? No. Sant Nimbarka was the one who gave the philosophy of Dvait, Advait. Do you know what is the philosophy of Dvait, Advait? Actually, Dvait means, see, I am just telling you in a very simple words. Dvait or dualism. Dvait means the God and the soul are different. They are not same. Advait, they are same. And if I say Dvait, Advait, what does it mean? Dvait, Advait means that God and soul are different, but soul can't exist without God. So Dvait bhi hai and Advait bhi hai. You cannot separate them altogether, although they are separate. Fine. Sant Kabir was greatly influenced by Sheikh Ahmad Sirhindi. See, again if you see, Sant Kabir was the person who was there in 1400s. ठीक है? And Ahmad Sirhindi was the person who was there in 1600s. So how he can be influenced by him? Sant Kabir was the one who opposed all the rituals, caste system and everything. He composed many poems. His poems are compiled in Bijak. So both of them are wrong. Neither one nor two are correct. Clear? Okay. With regards to Indian history, who is the future Buddha yet to come to save the world? ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे you should know all the avatars or the forms of Buddha. So future Buddha is basically Maitreya. Let me tell you the other Buddhas also. Bodhisattva, the individual who helps to attain enlightenment. Avalokiteshwar. Avalokiteshwar is there in your Ajanta caves also known as Padmapani. And he is one of the Buddha's three protector. Fine. Maitreya, future Buddha. Vajrapani, one of the three guardian. One is Padmapani, another is Vajrapani. Right. Manjushri and Avalokiteshwar. So Padmapani, Vajrapani and Manjushri. These are the three protectors of Buddha. Next is Samantabhadra. He is the universal Buddha. And he is also associated with meditation and he is a part of Shakyamuni triad. So see, there is one thing that is the protector. Another is the Shakyamuni triad. Shakyamuni triad mein we have Buddha, Manjushri and Samantabhadra. Next is Kshitij Garbha. Kshitij Garbha is the guardian of the children. Manjushri is related with the wisdom, with the understanding. Fine. So you should know at least the keyword kahan pe kaun sa you can match. Next. With reference to religious practices in India, the Sthanak Vasi sect belong to. See, Vaishnavism, Shaivism we all know. Buddhism mein we have seen the sects and we have not read Sthanak Vasi, so it is related to Jainism. Again, Jainism may be, you should know at least the names of the sects which belong to. For example, the basic one are Shwetambar, Digambar. Shwetambar are the one who wear white color clothes, who are the liberal ones who follow 4 vows. 5 vows are followed by Digambar. They remain nude. Sthanakvasi, Murti Pujak, Shwetambar, Tera Panth, they all belong to Shwetambar. Mool Sangh, Bis Panth, Kasht Sangh, Tera Panth, Taran Pantha, Gumnam Pantha, Tota Pantha, they all belong to this Digambar wala sect. Clear? At least the names are important. Extra information you can read. Next, with reference to the religious history of India, consider the following statements. Sautantrika and Samitya were sects of Jainism. Abhi we have seen that they are related to Buddhism. So you can see how many times the question gets repeated. If you do the PYQ analysis properly now, so you will be able to guess the correct answer. Sharvastivadin held that the constituents of phenomena were not wholly momentary but existed forever in the latent form. Actually, Buddhism it is said that everything is temporary. But there is one sect, that is Sharvastivadin, they says that not everything is temporary. Something there is which remains permanent. So 2 only is the correct option. Next, with reference to the religious history of India, consider the following statements. The concept of Bodhisattva is central to Heenan sect of Buddhism. Again, we have seen Bodhisattva is associated with Mahayana. So this statement is incorrect. Bodhisattva is a compassionate one on his way to enlightenment. Yes, he helps others. That is why he is a compassionate being. He is not selfish like Arhat. And the third one is Bodhisattva delays achieving his own salvation to help the sentient beings on their path to it. So 2 and 3 are the correct option. Very easy question. A repeated question is there. Right. Next, with reference to the cultural history of medieval India, Siddha or Sitars of Tamil region were monotheistic and condemned idolatry. Yes, we have seen Siddhas were the people who believe they are monotheistic and they do not propagate idolatry. In fact, there are certain Siddhas which criticize even idolatry. Lingayats of Kannada region questioned the theory of rebirth and rejected the caste hierarchy. That is why they bury the dead person. Right? They did not believe in hierarchy. They are the one who wear Ishtling. Basically one of the subsect of Shaivism. So both of them are correct. Consider the following statements. Bijak is a composition of the teachings of Saint Dadu Dayal. We have just read that Bijak is the composition, a compilation given by Kabir. The philosophy of Pushti Marg was propounded by Madhavacharya. No, it is Vallabhacharya. And he gave the theory of Shuddha Advait, pure non-dualism. Clear? So, which of them are correct? Neither one nor two. So, basically you should know the theories. You should know who has proposed them. Clear? Next is, which one of the following does not form part of the 6 systems of Indian philosophy? See, you should know all the 6 systems. Very important: Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Mimamsa, Uttar Mimamsa. This is also known as Purva Mimamsa. So which of them is not there? Mimamsa, Vedanta, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, they all are there. Lokayat and Kapalika. Kapalika is basically a subsect of Shaivism. That is not there. Fine. Okay. Now, okay, with this we are done with very important topic of religion and philosophy. Now we are left with 4-5 miscellaneous topics. But before going on to the martial arts or other topics, try to just compile whatever you have done in religion and philosophy. Then we'll start with this in 1 minute. It is a hardly 15-20 minutes topic. We'll be wrapping it up. Okay? So just have a look. Then we'll be starting with martial arts. Okay. So now moving on to martial arts. So again, from martial arts, how you have to prepare? Martial arts ka you should know the name of the art and the location, the specific feature. And one important thing, whether it is armed or unarmed. That you should know. Ye sara things if you know, then it is fine. Okay, so let's read the question. With reference to India's culture and tradition, what is Kalari Payattu? So very famous martial art. Ancient bhakti cult? No. Ancient style bronze and brass work? No. Ancient form of dance drama? No. Ancient martial art and living tradition in some parts of South India. Clear? Easy question, factual question. So we have only one question from martial arts till now. So utna is sufficient. If you are doing this much, it is sufficient. Don't put lot of time and efforts in this topic. Next is literature. Let's see. See literature, how you have to do? You have to do it in a chronological manner. Ancient history mein who were the playwrights, what they have written. Medieval mein what are the important works done. Then you can talk about South India also in the modern, and in fact you can talk about the science and tech also in the same manner. So with regards to Indian history, consider the following: Neti Pakadna, Parishisht Parvan, Avadhan Shatak, Trishashti Lakshan Mahapuran. Which of them are Jain text? See, वैसे तो ठीक है, अभी we are going to read Jain text, Buddhist text, what are those? But let me tell you the trick when this question was asked, and we were not so sure कि हाँ everybody was not there कि they knew each and every of the book. But if you have read even the NCERTs, वहाँ पे it is written बुद्धिज़्म के लिए जातक स्टोरीज and avadanas. So wherever there is sculpture, anything, it is written that the life of the Buddha is presented, Jatak stories are represented, and avadanas are presented. So if you can correlate that avadanas are related to Buddhism, so here there is avadana shatak. So somewhere it is related to Buddhism and not Jainism. So 3 if I eliminate, we have got 2 and 4 as the option. Now we will not do elimination, but at that time, if that was the question, how you have to think about that, right? So basically Parishisht Parvan and Trishashti Lakshan Mahapuran are related to Jainism. Neti Prakand and Avadhan Shatak are related to Buddhism. Let's see the Jainism and Buddhist literature. They are important. It can be asked in future also. Agam, teachings of Mahavira compiled by followers. Non-Agam literature, explanation of the Agam literature. Then we have Purvas, Angas, Malsut, Niryukti, Kalpasutra, Acharanga Sutra, Parishisht Parvan, Trishashti Shana Mahapuran. Okay, so these all are Jain texts. You can read the explanation. Next is Buddhist literature. Again, very, very important. We have 3 Pitak, 3 Pitak, Sutta Pitak, where the direct teachings of Buddha are given by his disciple Ananda. Again, there are subparts. At least read the names, if not the explanation. Vinay Pitak, how the conduct has to be done by the monks and the nuns. Abhidhamma Pitak, it is compiled during the 3rd Buddhist Council, and it tells you the interpretation of the teachings of Buddha. What Buddha had taught in Sutta Pitak, the interpretations are given in Abhidhamma Pitak. Then we have Nidan Katha. This is the first connected life story of Buddha. Milindapano, we all know the story that Menander got converted into like Buddhism. He opted Buddhism, and that is the discussion between Menander and Nagasena, who was a Buddhist monk. Then Vajra Chedika, Lalit Vistara, Sukhavati Vihu, Karanda Vihu, very important. Ashta Sahasrika Prajna Paramita, wisdom, written in 8,000 lines. Madhyamika Karika, Sutra Lankara, Vishuddhi Mag, Buddha Charita, Deepavansa, Mahavansa, Neti Prakand, Avadhan Shatak. So these all are the Buddhist literature. At least if you have read the name, you will be able to handle in the exam. Next, which one of the following statements about Sangam literature in ancient South India is correct? Sangam poems are devoid of any reference to material culture. No. Social classification of Varna was known to Sangam poet. Sangam poet have no reference to warrior ethic. It refers to magical forces that are irrational. So let me tell you, it was known to the Sangam poets, and let's talk about Sangam literature also. So Sangam literature was compiled where many poets came. It was an assembly of Tamil poets who were called by Pandya kings. The money was given by Pandya kings. That was also known as Sangam age. At that time, two categories of literature was compiled. Puram for the material aspects, Agam for the love. So basically the theme was love and war. And it was a oral bardic literature. At that time the writing was not done. Writing was done in the later time. Now see the important works. Etuto Gai, Patu Patu, Patinini Kil Kanuku. I don't know the pronunciation, but okay, you can see. See, why I am telling you these names are important. See, if so much detailed name, if they are asking in Buddhism, Jainism, तो संगम में भी they can ask. So at least names. Silpadikaram, Manimekalai, part 1, part 2, season 1, season 2. Tolkapiyam, ठीक है. Agattiyam, Tirukural, Jivak Chintamani, and they knew the social classification. For example, Arashars were kings, Veshi are traders, Velal are farmers, Brahmanas are also mentioned. In fact, the magical forces wala component is also mentioned, warrior ethics was also mentioned. Next, with reference to the history of ancient India, Bhavbhuti, Hastimalla, Shemeshwara, they all, we have seen Jain monk mein nahi tha, temple architecture it was not there, philosopher they were playwrights, very famous. Bhavbhuti say you will get to know that they were very famous playwrights. Now the text from, the question from ancient literature, Vedic literature. The national motto of India, Satyamev Jayate, is inscribed below the emblem of India, is taken from Katha Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, Aitareya Upanishad, Mundak Upanishad. See, you should know all the Upanishads. Okay? And what are the important things mentioned over there? So, Satyamev Jayate is written in Mundak Upanishad. Next, festivals. See, this is a repeated question. We have already solved. 1 and 2 are correct. Third is incorrect. Next, Chalya Sahib festival. Communities who celebrate it is Sindhis, right? So again, if it is there in news or something, then you should go through these sort of question. Nand Raj Jatra Committee, it is not done by tribal people, it is done at the Nanda Devi temple in Uttarakhand. Wari Warkari, not again done by Santhals, it is the, you can say Yatra, jo it is done in Pandharpur, which is in Maharashtra. So only one is correct, others are incorrect. So we are done with festivals. Moving on to the last, miscellaneous topics. Mostly the miscellaneous topics are sheerly, purely based on current affairs, right? You cannot have anything else other than the current affairs for that. See the first question. Consider the following properties included in the World Heritage List released by UNESCO. So this is given in, this has been asked in 2024. And why it has been asked? Because in 2023 certain sites have been included as the World Heritage List directly from current affairs. So how many are included specifically in 2023? See, all of them are there in that list. But which of them have been added in 2023? Sheer current affairs question. So Shanti Niketan and Hoysala temple, they were added in 2023. Rani Ki Vav was very old, it is in Gujarat, 2014. And Mahabodhi temple at Bodh Gaya was added in 2002. Clear? Current affairs based question. You can also read what is the selection criteria, at least one of the following, about the parameters, 10 parameters, whatever they have given, उसमें से कुछ ना कुछ at least you should match. Only then you will be classified as World Heritage Site, and that will be done by World Heritage Committee, the checking part. With regards to India, Halbi, Ho and Kui. See, we have seen the dance forms. ऐसा तो we have not read anywhere. Instruments also we have seen. Cave paintings we have seen. But tribal languages we have not seen. And they also correlate to some tribal thing only. So from there you can guess it can be tribal languages. Next. Consider the following pairs: famous place and the river. Again, geography based, mapping based question is there. If any place is there in news, you should know the geography around that, its location, river, hill, whatever is there. Pandharpur, river Chandrabhaga, correct. Trichurapalli, Kaveri river, we all know. Hampi is not Malprabha, it is Tungabhadra. So 1 and 2 are correct. ठीक है, मैपिंग बेस्ड क्वेश्चन, मैपिंग शुड बी वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग. कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग टाउन्स ऑफ इंडिया. भद्राचलम, चंदेरी, कांचीपुरम, करनाल. विच ऑफ द अबव आर फेमस फॉर द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ ट्रेडिशनल साड़ीज और फैब्रिक. सी, यहाँ पे इट गिव्स योर एप्टीट्यूड. These are the things that we mostly hear in the advertisement, in our surroundings, in our homes when our mothers, sisters are talking. So if we talk about sari, we all of us have heard of Kanchipuram sari, silk sari, है ना, Chanderi work, right? But have we heard about any Karnal sari? No. या Bhadrachalam sari? No. So 2 and 3 are the correct option that you can do from your aptitude also, and you have to be aware whenever you are sitting, मतलब you are listening anything, everything you try to something you try to grasp from there. ठीक है, what can be relevant for you. And other way around, you can see the map also, that which fabric is famous from which place, right? For example, if we talk about Kota, Bandhani, Lehriya, they all are from Rajasthan. Fulkari work of Punjab is very famous. Chanderi and Maheshwari from MP. Patola, Bandhani from Gujarat. Then Kunbi, very very famous from Goa. Mysore silk, very famous. So these are all the basically general knowledge that you should have. Okay, Chaitra 1 of the national calendar based on Saka era corresponds to which one of the following are Gregorian calendar in the normal year of 365 days. So we have Jan 1, 2, 3 and so on, then Feb, then March. This is our calendar. Fine, 365 days total are there. Now there is one calendar called Chaitra that starts from 22nd of March. This is used by Government of India when it issues the calendar. Gazette के लिए it is used. Then if any news is announced on AIR, then it is used. So 22 March or the 21st March, depending upon whether it is a leap year or not, it corresponds to the Chaitra 1 of the national calendar. Clear? So this completes our PYQ discussion. I hope you have understood the essence. Basically, seeing the question and doing that, it's one story, and that's very simple. But we are not supposed to do that. We have to derive the important themes from the PYQs, the depth to which particular topic is important. Obviously, the questions that we are doing, all the options we should do the analysis. This is important thing. If you have learned this, then you have got the crux of PYQ. Okay. So I hope you have enjoyed the session. You have learned lot of things from the session. Thank you.